Imagine this with me. You're 62, maybe 68, perhaps even 75. You wake up one morning, and as you sit on the edge of the bed, you realize your joints ache more than they used to. You stand, and it takes a moment for your balance to steady. As you make your way to the kitchen, you notice the kettle is already whistling, but for a second, you forget why you put it on. And in that moment, a quiet fear creeps in. Is this what aging is supposed to feel like? Am I slowly losing not just my strength, but my memory, my independence, my very sense of self? Now, let me ask you something. What if all of that memory loss, cancer risk, heart problems, the very things we fear most after 60 weren't simply inevitable? What if there was one simple daily habit that could turn the tide? A habit so powerful that science shows it can erase up to 90% of the risk factors for the diseases that steal health and independence from seniors. I know that sounds bold, but stay with me because I'm not here to sell you a miracle pill or an overnight cure. I'm here to talk about something real, something proven, and something that you can start doing today, no matter your age, no matter your health history, no matter how far gone you think you are. Think about what life after 60 really means. For many people, it's a season of slowing down, but it should also be a season of freedom. Freedom to enjoy grandchildren. Freedom to travel without being tied to medications. Freedom to garden, to walk, to laugh without worrying about your body giving out. And yet, statistics tell us that by the time most people hit their 60s, their chances of developing at least one chronic disease, be it heart disease, cancer, or dementia, skyrocket. But here's the truth. Aging by itself does not cause disease. It's the habits we carry with us every single day that determine whether aging becomes a slow decline or a vibrant chapter full of strength and clarity. And this is where the science becomes inspiring. Because research has shown that one habit, practiced daily, can slash the risk of these diseases by up to 90%. Think about that number for a second. 90%. Imagine walking into a doctor's office and your doctor tells you, if you do this one thing every single day, your chances of developing cancer, heart disease, or memory decline are cut to almost nothing. Wouldn't you do it? Of course you would. But here's the twist. Most people don't, not because they can't, but because they don't know. They've never been told. Instead, they're told to accept more medications, more restrictions, more limitations, though the only way forward after 60 is to surrender. I want to tell you today that surrender is not your destiny. You are not destined for weakness. You are not destined for confusion. You are not destined for a life of pills and hospital visits. You are destined for strength, for clarity, for freedom. But only if you choose it. Now, I won't reveal the habit just yet. That's coming very soon. But I want you to picture this. Picture yourself 5 years from now. Maybe you're 65 today. Imagine yourself at 70. Will you be sitting in a waiting room, hands trembling as you try to remember your medications? Or will you be walking confidently up a hill, laughing with a grandchild? Your mind sharp, your body steady, your heart strong. That future depends on the choice you make now. And here's what makes this so exciting. The habit I'm going to share with you is not complicated. It doesn't require expensive supplements or gym memberships. It doesn't require you to change everything about your life. In fact, it's probably something you've done before, but never realized just how powerful it really is. Science is only now uncovering just how profound its impact is, not just on the body, but on the very cells that keep you alive. So today, in this video, I want to guide you through the science of why diseases like memory loss, cancer, and heart problems explode after 60. I want to show you why so many people get aging wrong, how you can get it right. And then, I'll reveal the one daily habit that has the power to erase up to 90% of the risk factors for those diseases. My goal for you is simple: to help you reclaim your health, protect your independence, and live with the confidence that your best years are still ahead of you. Now, let's dive in. Section 2. The Science of Aging and Disease. Let us begin with the reality most of us face after 60. Aging is often painted as this mysterious, unstoppable force that chips away at our health. But the truth is, aging by itself doesn't cause disease. Instead, what happens is this. Over time, the protective systems in our body, the ones that kept us resilient when we were 20, 30, or even 40, become less efficient. And when those protective systems begin to weaken, diseases find the perfect opportunity to strike. Let's take memory loss as the first example. Inside your brain are about 86 billion tiny cells that carry electrical signals faster than the blink of an eye. These neurons are what allow you to remember your daughter's birthday, recognize the face of an old friend, or recall where you left your keys. But neurons are delicate. They need oxygen, nutrients, and healthy blood flow to function. Over time, if blood vessels stiffen, if circulation weakens, or if inflammation creeps in, those neurons don't get what they need. They begin to falter. That's when memory slips happen. Not because you're just getting old, but because the support system your brain relies on has been compromised. Now, let's look at cancer. Many people believe cancer just appears with age. But science tells a different story. Cancer begins when one cell in the body, just one, mutates and begins dividing out of control. Here's the thing. That process can actually begin at any age. Even a teenager's body produces abnormal cells. So why don't most of us develop cancer in our teens? Because our immune system detects and destroys those cells before they ever become dangerous. It's like having a security system in your home. When you're younger, it's sharp, fast, and ready to sound the alarm at the first sign of trouble. But as you get older, that system becomes slower. It misses things, and cancer takes advantage of that weakness. That's why rates of cancer rise dramatically after 60 nat, because cancer suddenly appears. But because your immune defense becomes less efficient at stopping it. And then there's heart disease, the #1 killer worldwide. Your heart is essentially a pump, beating 100,000 times a day, moving blood through nearly 60,000 miles of blood vessels. Think about that. Enough to circle the earth twice. But with age, the lining of those blood vessels becomes less flexible. Plaque builds up from years of diet, stress, and sometimes genetics. Tiny cracks form in the vessel walls, and when those cracks are patched with cholesterol, the vessel narrows. That's when blood flow slows, blood pressure rises, and the risk of clots or blockages grows. Suddenly, something as small as a late-night trip to the bathroom can turn into chest pain, a heart attack, or worse. Now here's the most important part. While these conditions, memory loss, cancer, heart disease, are different on the surface, they actually share the same root problems: weak blood flow, chronic inflammation, a sluggish immune system, poor repair mechanisms in the body. In other words, it's not that your brain, your heart, and your immune system each fail independently. It's that the same underlying weaknesses show up everywhere, just in different ways. This is why one single habit can make such a dramatic difference. Because if you can strengthen the foundation, the blood vessels, the circulation, the immune defense, the anti-inflammatory pathways, you're not just protecting one part of your body, you're protecting all of it. Let me give you an analogy. Imagine your body as a house. Over the years, the roof develops leaks, the foundation cracks, and the wiring frays. You could try to fix each problem individually. Patch the roof here, patch the foundation there, but if the entire structure is weakening, you'll always be chasing problems. But if you could reinforce the entire foundation, strengthen the walls, and update the wiring all at once, you wouldn't just fix one leak, you'd protect the entire house. That's exactly how this one habit works in the body. And science has shown us this again and again. In fact, large studies following seniors over decades reveal that those who consistently practice this one daily habit have dramatically lower rates of Alzheimer's, dramatically lower rates of cancer, and dramatically lower rates of heart disease. And not just by a little. We're talking reductions of up to 70, 80, even 90% compared to people who do not practice it. Think about what that means. If 10 of your friends are over 60 and all of you continue without this habit, statistically, the majority of you will face at least one of these diseases. But if you start now, if you commit to this habit, the odds flip. Suddenly, instead of being the rule, disease becomes the rare exception. Now, let's pause for a moment, because I want you to feel the weight of that. For so long, the narrative around aging has been one of decline, of inevitability. People are told to prepare for disease as though it's just part of life. But the science says something radically different. It says disease is not destiny. It says memory loss is not inevitable. It says cancer is not guaranteed. It says heart disease is not a requirement for getting older. It says your daily choices, your daily habits can, quite literally, erase the risks before they take root. And that's why this conversation is so urgent. Because every day you wait is another day those risks pile up. But every day you practice the right habit is another day your body rebuilds resilience. Another day your brain strengthens its connections. Another day your immune system sharpens its defenses. Now that you understand the science, the white time to get to the most important part, the how. Because what I'm about to share with you is simple, but it's also profound. And once you hear it, you may wonder why no doctor has told you this before. Section 3. Revealing the one daily habit that erases 90% of diseases. We've talked about the science of aging. We've seen how memory loss, cancer, and heart disease strike randomly, but take root when our body's protective systems weaken. Now comes the most important question of all. What can you do today, right now, to make sure those systems stay strong for the years to come? The answer, surprisingly, is not a new drug. It's not some exotic supplement. It's not hours in the gym or following a complicated diet. The answer is one simple daily habit, a habit that every single one of us has the power to do. And that habit is walking. Yes, walking. Something so basic, so ordinary, that most people overlook its power. But science has shown us, in overwhelming detail, that walking is the single most powerful daily habit for preventing disease. And not just a little walking can erase up to 90% of the risks of memory loss, cancer, and heart disease after 60. Let's break that down, because when I first tell people this, they think it sounds too simple to be true. But when you look at the evidence, realize walking is not just about moving your legs, it's about turning on the body's natural defense systems in a way no pill or surgery can replicate. Start with the brain. When you walk, something remarkable happens inside your head. Blood rushes through your vessels, carrying oxygen and nutrients to your neurons. At the same time, your brain releases a chemical called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Think of BDNF as miracle fertilizer for your neurons. It strengthens their connections, helps them form new pathways, and even protects them from dying. In study after study, seniors who walked daily showed slower rates of memory decline, sharper focus, and even growth of new brain cells in the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory. Now look at cancer. When you walk, your muscles contract and release natural anti-inflammatory compounds into your bloodstream. These compounds don't just soothe your joints, they lower systemic inflammation throughout the body. Why is that important? Because cancer thrives in an inflamed environment. By reducing inflammation, walking changes the terrain inside your body, making it harder for cancer cells to grow and spread. But it doesn't stop there. Walking also strengthens your immune system. Each step you take increases circulation of natural killer cells, your body's frontline defenders against abnormal cells. In other words, walking literally trains your immune system to patrol more effectively, catching cancer cells before they ever have a chance to take hold. And then there's the heart. Walking is the single best exercise for your blood vessels. Every step you take improves circulation, lowers blood pressure, and strengthens the lining of your arteries. Think of your arteries like garden hoses. Over time, they can stiffen and narrow. Walking keeps them flexible and wide, allowing blood to flow freely. That means more oxygen to your muscles, more nutrients to your organs, and less strain on your heart. In fact, research has shown that seniors who walk just 30 minutes a day cut their risk of heart attack and stroke by nearly half. But here's the most astonishing part. When you combine all these benefits, the brain, the immune system, the heart, they don't just add up, they multiply. That's why walking has such an outsized effect on disease risk. You're not treating one system at a time. You're activating all of them together, creating a shield of resilience that protects your entire body. Now, let me give you a picture of what this looks like in real life. Imagine two people, both 65 years old. The first sits most of the day. He drives to the store, spends hours in front of the TV, and rarely moves more than he has to. The second makes walking a daily habit. Nothing extreme, just 30 minutes each day, rain or shine. Fast forward 10 years. The first man begins noticing memory lapses. His doctor tells him his blood pressure is high. Tests reveal plaque in his arteries. And then, a routine scan shows something worse or less stage cancer. His body has simply lost its ability to defend itself. The second man, he's walking daily. His blood pressure is normal. His brain is sharp. His immune system is active. Cancer never takes root. His arteries remain flexible. His circulation strong. He's not just surviving, he's thriving. Same age, same environment. But one daily habit makes the difference between decline and vitality. Now you may be asking, how much walking is enough? Here's the science. Studies show that even as little as 20 minutes a day provides enormous benefits. But the sweet spot seems to be 30 minutes daily, or about 7,000 to 8,000 steps. That's it. You don't need to run marathons. You don't need to buy expensive equipment. Just put one foot in front of the other consistently and let your body do the rest. And here's the part I find most inspiring. Walking is not just physical, it's emotional. It reduces stress, lowers anxiety, and boosts mood by releasing endorphins, the body's natural feel-good chemicals. In fact, many seniors report that their daily walk becomes the most joyful part of their day. It's a chance to clear the mind, to connect with nature, to breathe deeply. And that emotional well-being is just as important as the physical health benefits. So when we say walking can erase 90% of diseases after 60, it's not exaggeration, it's the science. You're protecting your brain, your heart, your immune system, your emotional health all with one simple habit. Now let me be clear. Walking doesn't mean you'll never face challenges. Life is unpredictable, but what walking does is shift the odds dramatically in your favor. It stacks the deck for health, for resilience, for vitality. It means you're not at the mercy of disease. You're actively writing your own future. And perhaps most importantly, walking gives you control. For so many seniors, aging feels like losing control over your body, your memory, your independence. Walking is the opposite. It's an act of reclaiming control. With every step, you're sending a message to your body. I am not passive. I am not waiting for disease. I am building strength. I am building resilience. I am building my future. Now that you know the habit, the question becomes, how do you make it stick? Because knowledge alone is not enough. The key is turning walking into a joyful, non-negotiable part of your day. So, my friends, if you take one message from this video, let it be this. Health after 60 doesn't come from 1,000 complicated changes. It doesn't come from chasing magic pills or miracle cures. It comes from a single daily habit done consistently. Done with intention that strengthens your body, protects your brain, defends against disease, and gives you back the energy you thought you had lost forever. The research is clear, the evidence is strong, and the stories of people who've embraced this habit are inspiring. They've lowered their blood pressure, reversed early signs of memory decline, reduced their cancer risks, and regained the joy of living life fully, Just surviving, but thriving. And here's the truth. It's never too late to start. Whether you're 60, 70, 80, or beyond, your body and brain are still hungry for nourishment, still capable of repair, still ready to adapt if you give them the chance. Every day you wake up is another chance to rewrite your health story. You can choose decline, or you can choose resilience. You can choose fear, or you can choose hope. So tonight, tomorrow morning, and every day that follows, ask yourself, will I commit to this habit? Will I give my body the fuel, the movement, the rest, and the love it needs to carry me forward? Because that one decision made daily really can erase up to 90% of the diseases that steal health, memory, independence, and joy from so many seniors. You deserve to live fully. You deserve strength, clarity, and peace. And it all starts with one choice, one action, one habit, repeated every single day. Now, if you found this eye-opening, I encourage you to stay with me and watch my next video where I reveal the specific foods and lifestyle strategies that work together with this daily habit to multiply its powers, especially for protecting your memory and circulation. You'll want to see this because when you combine them, the results can be life-changing. Remember, your health is your wealth, and it's never too late to invest in it.